would it be if our world didn't have predictability? Imagine your frustration when you don't know where to find your keys in the morning, when your toothpaste isn't in the bathroom, or all of a sudden your shoes don't fit. What if you walked in to find your furniture on the ceiling? You probably would feel a little anxious. Routines create a certain predictability in our life, which allows us to relax and not sweat the small stuff. For children with autism, changes in their routine can feel like furniture suddenly appearing on the ceiling. They can get thrown off when their schedule changes, when toys look different than the ones that they're used to, when food comes in different packaging, or when activities are presented in different ways than they're used to. Children on the spectrum have come up with a way to lessen their anxiety. They become rigid. Some kids insist on placing items a certain way and become upset if it's changed. Other kids want to play a particular way and get annoyed if the adult tries to intervene. Or, some kids expect bedtime routines to be carried out in an exact order.
What? No! We always read a story first!
So, what do? We teach children cognitive flexibility, which is knowing that every problem has a number of solutions, and it's the ability to switch from thinking about one thing to another. Hi, I'm Susan, school psychologist with Growing Character, and in this video, I'm going to share some practical ways for you to help your child become more flexible and less rigid in the face of change. The first step to working on rigidity is to create a schedule. Make sure all the events for the day are on the schedule. Depending on the child's age and developmental level, the schedule can use pictures, icons, or words. Make sure whatever the system you use requires the child to do something with each item on the schedule, like moving the picture over when finished, or checking off a box. If we create schedules that are laminated and hung up just for reference, children learn that the schedule is the same every day, and they learn to ignore it. Once you teach your child how to use their schedule, the next step is to use the schedule to teach tolerance for change. You can use the schedule to get your kids used to two types of change: day-to-day changes and last-minute changes. From the very beginning, introduce change into the routine. You can change the order in which the activities are done, like story time before bath time, or the number of activities for the day, or maybe even how the activity card looks. You can also get your kids used to the idea of last-minute changes, which we all know are inevitable. Introduce them to the idea of the surprise event that can happen anytime. It could be a new friend coming over, it could be a last-minute doctor's appointment. Whatever it is, practice adding the surprise or the change into the schedule intentionally. Never sneak a change behind the child's back, or else they'll learn not to trust the schedule anymore. If your child is really resistant to change, first start with a positive change. Take out something the kid doesn't enjoy from the schedule and put in something they love as a surprise, so they can start to build a positive view of last-minute changes. Then move to a more neutral change, and then from there, a challenging one. Another great strategy for kids who have difficulty with rigidity is to teach them that categories can change. For example, the blue cup can be used for drinking in the kitchen, but also to rinse hair in the bathroom, or as a tool out in the garden. The idea is to help them develop flexible views of items and their uses in different environments. It's important to get children used to frequent changes early on. Some children on the spectrum have the tendency to cling on to specific routines, so you need to change it up. Alter the route you drive home, the way you cut up the same fruit daily, the cup you use to drink water. By altering routines slightly, children with autism learn to accept variation. But don't children with autism need predictability and routine? Shouldn't you try to provide consistency so kids will thrive? That's a great question. The fifth strategy as a parent is to make a distinction. There's a difference between routines in life that bring function and needed consistency, and rigidities and routines that bring our children stress if something can't be exactly the way their mind needs it to be. Like having a meltdown because a cookie is broken, or because they don't have the exact blue cup with the car on it that they need for their milk. So make a distinction. Is the routine easing anxiety, or is it a rigidity that's causing more anxiety? Then you'll know whether it's something you need to try to change up or not. I'll give you some examples. Only wanting to wear a specific red shirt every day? No, that's not going to fly. Mom's not going to do laundry every day. Wanting to wear shirts without tags on them because the feeling irritates his neck? That's related to a sensory challenge. Okay. Wanting a closet full of soft red shirts without tags on them? Still okay. One of the best ways to teach flexible thinking is to teach your child to use self-talk. No big deal, this broken cookie still has the same great taste. It's not perfect, but I can still enjoy it. When a child's still young, you as a parent use these self-talk statements out loud, and the goal is for them to eventually become ingrained in the way your child thinks for themselves. A lot of time, rigidity causes a child with autism to look at situations as either white or black, right or wrong. So use visual metaphors to help them understand that there's often a gray area in between. The white paint is when a friend is really nice to you one day, and the black shows that on another day they might make a mean comment. The gray in between shows that everyone has different moods, and there may be some days when a little black is mixed into the white because someone might be having a bad day. No one's either all good or all bad all the time. And lastly, we're all inevitably going to face situations that bring our anxiety to the surface. So it would be very beneficial for your child to have a calming routine that's a go-to for them. Whatever it might be, 5 deep breaths and then rubbing their ears. It could be a deep pressure hug and then closing their eyes and taking 3 pizza breaths. Whatever it is, practice the routine several times a day so that it can be an automatic response in a time of stress. Just remember, rigidity is not a character flaw or manipulative behavior. It's often just a response to stress and anxiety, a way in which to make sense of the world that's ever-changing. Let's equip our children with the strategies they need to be flexible thinkers and learn to manage that anxiety that often comes with change. Check out my other videos on autism, and like always, hit the like button and subscribe to Growing Character for more videos like this one. See you next time!